Hey besties, welcome back to a brand new episode of Bon Voyage Besties, your go-to podcast for all things travel. Today, we are so excited to introduce our incredible guest. She's been a travel blogger since 2010 and is truly a pioneer in French-speaking Belgium. She's an author for Lonely Planet and the voice behind the blog and podcast Mel Loves Travel. Her work focuses on city breaks and uncovering hidden gems, all while empowering women to explore the world with confidence through her stories, insights, and expert tips. From Belgium to the Baltic countries to the Faroe Islands, she's on a mission to prove that these destinations are anything but boring. She's a passionate solo traveler who's inspiring women everywhere to get out there and see the world on their own terms. So we're super excited to welcome Mel to the show.
Hello, ladies,
Welcome,
and hello,
welcome.
besties. Most of all,
Yes, we're so excited to have you here. I don't want to count how many years ago it's been, but I was 25. I was 25 and I went with my mom and brother and had the most amazing time with like the beer and the chocolates. It was just spectacular and I want to go back so badly. Uh, it was fantastic. So you've been traveling since 2010. You've been travel blogging, which is really, really awesome. So what first inspired you to start Mel Loves Travels and how has your journey evolved over time?
well, actually, I started blogging like any other bloggers by having like a personal blog. I started in 2005, and I started traveling more and more because I had been an expat in the US for like 4 years. And when I came back in 2004, I wanted to document, to kind of have a journal about how it is to come back to a country and, start your life over again. Turns out that the day I started that blog, I found a job. And shortly after, once I was quite secure about the job that I had, I started traveling on my own. And the more I was writing about it in my personal blog, the more people wanted to hear, where I was going to go next. So I said, well, I'm tired of, speaking about myself and my feelings. I want to write about travel. It's more fun to write, and that's what people want to read. So I said, all right, so I'm starting my travel blog, and it's now been 16 years.
My
That is
God.
amazing and a long run too. So good for you. And I feel like people are always intrigued. When I first started doing travel blogging myself, it started as something fun that I was doing with my daughter. And then eventually it turned into a nice little business for myself. And I love it because I love sharing stories with people. And people seem to be very interested in the things that I have to say, apparently.
Well, to me, I think it's unlike you. It's like not a business still. It's a nice add-on. It's also how I got discovered by guidebook publishers as well. But it's still, I think it's just that I like to write. And even though my blog has been around for quite a long time, I'm still sort of very niche. So, and it doesn't bother me though. I want to do what I want to do.
And that's great. I feel like when it's a passion, then you can kind of enjoy it and you can publish what you want to publish and talk about the things that really bring you joy, which is one of the reasons I don't think I can ever do like content creation or travel blogging like full time because for me it is a passion and I just want to talk about the things that actually bring me joy.
Completely agree.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I like what you said before how your content is kind of niche. I always feel like that is the absolute best performing content. I've been in the travel content creation space for a while now, since 2015. And we're always told that to like pick a niche, to find what we really like and speak authentically about it. So you're considered a pioneer in the French speaking Belgium travel space, which is fantastic. I've only ever had the pleasure of going to Donat with the saxophones and like the beautiful church. I loved it. I loved it so much, but I definitely want to see more and I want to go back so badly. So, what was building your platform like in those early days?
Well, basically, I remember I had to do everything on my own. There was no way to pre-install WordPress, for instance, like it is now when you buy a domain name and you buy also an hosting space. By then I had to do it everything by hand, so I had to like self teach myself how to do it. And it was fun because it also gave me like some some nice, hands-on capacity to learn how to deal with also with issues regarding the back office of the blog. So that was everything was new. It was discovery at every time, and the community of bloggers, especially travel bloggers, was very small. Of course, French speaking Belgium, we were like very few. Maybe we were like the amount of the fingers that I have on my hand.
Very
But
limited.
yeah, very limited. But, as French speakers, we are also very close to the French and people from Quebec as well. So it was a little larger, and we almost knew each other's, at least virtually. So it was like a pretty tight knit community for a few years. Now it's changed because we're more numerous, and we don't operate the same way we did a few years ago. So it's not the same, but I like the fact that everything was new and exciting at the time.
Yes, I love what you said about the sense of community because like that's one of the great things. I feel like being in the content creation space, it feels like a big world, but then again, we all see each other when we go to conferences, and it's always like a good feeling because it really is a smaller community than you think, which I really truly enjoy because nobody understands you more than another like freelance journalist or writer or content creator. Like your friends, they don't get it. They don't understand the struggles that we have to go through. They only see the end product.
Exactly. I often joke with my fellow bloggers that we can be as geeky as we want, and that we understand each other's in all the little quirks that we bloggers have. So it's always pleasant. I feel a little bit freer
Exactly. It's like
when
we
I'm
speak our own
surrounded.
language.
Exactly.
It's so true. Speaking my language right there. And I also love that your content focuses a lot on city breaks and hidden gems, especially in French speaking Belgium. Like I said earlier, I went to Donat on that trip years ago. Absolutely loved it. Want to go and travel more and discover more. So, as a travel writer, how do you go about discovering destinations that feel unique and exciting to write about?
Basically, I just like go with my gut feeling. I mean, I don't do that much research. Like, I might be inspired by, maybe coming across like a press article or maybe a documentary on TV. And then I'm like, this sounds really interesting. I want to go there. And usually when I have this idea coming into my head, I have like, I don't know about you girls, but I have like a light bulbs moment. And I know that when that happens, it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. And nothing's going to stop me from doing it.
I love it.
And
Very determined.
yes, and basically that's it. It's really like a gut feeling. That's a place that I just want to see. For some reason, I also have like the spirit of contradiction, we call it in French. Like, I don't want to go to Barcelona. That's where everybody goes. Or I don't want to go, I don't know, to Mykonos, for instance. And that's not, I mean, or if I go there, I will want to go see some out of the beaten path part of this destination, but I don't want to do what everybody does. I mean, as a blogger, those places will have been written to the death.
Hmm.
And for me as a traveler, it doesn't interest me so much. So
Yeah.
there we go.
That's a really, really good point because I find with my travels, the same thing happens. I'll like plan to go to these major destinations, major cities, but I always try to add in smaller cities or towns. And those always end up being the absolute best experiences of all. Like you mentioned Mykonos on my recent trip to Greece, we went to Crete and we ended up not being able to go to Balos Beach because there was like a car accident. It was the only way into the
Mm,
port. So we ended up just like staying at this this local beach, family owned tavern, and we stayed there for hours and hours and just talked to the people. And it was truly like the best experience we had the entire week. So I really do think you're right. Like those moments, you just know in your gut. Like as soon as we arrived there, I looked at my friends and they were like, "We're staying here for a few hours, right?" And I was like, "Yes, like, this is the place. You just, when you know, you know."
It's like a different quality of travel, I feel like, when you discover like these like hidden gem or off the beaten path destinations, because like you said, like places like Mykonos, Santorini, they don't need the publicity. So a lot of places sometimes like maybe the service is not up to par with what you might expect. But when you go to like these destinations that are lesser known, I feel like you're engaging a little bit more with the local community as well.
True, true. And there's also the fact that, well, there's also debatable as well, because I've had some people asking me, those out of the beaten path hidden gems, aren't you too worried that, you're giving them perhaps too much exposure? And I'm like, I don't think so. Probably people will still stay focused on like the big attractions because it's safe. I mean, safe in a way that it's easy. I think, well, sometimes if it can help also to divert the touristic crowd, you know, and try and, give some attention to these, forgotten or out of the beaten path places, it's also a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. So I know I personally haven't been to Belgium, although I love some Belgium chocolate.
Mhm.
So, Melissa, I'm a little curious. Can you tell us a little bit more about what makes French-speaking Belgium special for visitors, and especially since cities like Ghent and Bruges tend to take the spotlight?
All right. Well, it's really the undiscovered gem of Belgium. So the south part of Belgium is called Wallonia. So, of course, we could consider Brussels as, French speaker, but it's another story. Brussels is a large city, lots of tourists, not as many as Bruges, probably, which is in completely drawn in tourism. But on the southern side, what you will have is like a lot of historical town. Actually, for instance, take Tournai. It's Belgium's second oldest city. Historically, the very first capital of France, even. So it's beautiful. You have also other historical cities like Mons and Namur, which is Wallonia's capital, with a very beautiful architecture. If you're into post-industrial vibe. Then you go to Charleroi, also called Europe's ugliest city. Not true.
Intrigued now.
I
I'm
know, I'm
intrigued.
curious.
I
I
love an
know,
underdog.
I know, and I mean, it's a perfect if you want to film like a post-apocalyptic movie because of all the derelict factories around. Charleroi is a little bit like it's like a Detroit that hasn't had its comeback yet, I think. But they have cutting edge institutions there, so that's a good thing. And then you have lots of nature, much more than Flanders. The more south you go, the hillier the landscape gets, and you get forests and wide open spaces, rivers, lakes. So the outdoors, it's quite important. Belgium, I don't know why we like kayaking. So
Cooking is so fun.
kayaking down like a swift river, especially one called the Less. There is another one called Samoa, which is beautiful as well because they have a medieval castle there. But yeah, usually like it's a rite of passage going down the Less in a kayak for almost every Belgian. So and yeah, you have like a lot of different things. It's actually quite diverse. It's not as showy and maybe it doesn't have the prestigious heritage as the Flemish cities. But one thing that the Flemish will agree with, their French-speaking counterparts, it's that Walloons are much nicer, warmer, I say, friendlier.
Yeah, everyone was so, so, so sweet to me, my brother, my mom. I speak a very little bit of French. Like it's enough to like order food and to make very polite, basic conversation. But I always joke around that I probably sound like a 3-year-old, and that's being generous. And everybody there was just so kind about my terrible French, very helpful. They would smile and laugh and be like, no, no, your French is awesome. It's really, really good. And we stayed at a little bed and breakfast, and it was a bit of a walk outside of Denat, but you could walk along the river. When you were describing the nature, I remember that feeling of like being in a Robin Hood movie or something. The nature was so beautiful, and our bed and breakfast host, he was so sweet. He drove us to the restaurant that we wanted to try because it was a bit outside of town. He came to the train station to pick us up so we didn't have to figure out how to get there on public transit. And it was just like a really wonderful time. Like, of course, we had fun in Bruges too. We actually went there because of the movie, which I'm sure is a big surprise, surprise, surprise. And it was very different, but in a good way. I really did feel like welcomed, and I want to go back so badly. I love Donat so much, and I do need to see more of the region for sure.
I think we're
Yeah.
ready for a trip.
Yep, we're ready for a trip.
Sounds like it. Then you go to, well, of course, Dinan is close to Namur already.
Yes.
It's very nice to have like a bike ride from Namur all the way to Dinan, following the river Meuse. Like it's very popular, and you bike along, but it's very flat. It's along the river, and you get to see like some really nice landscapes there.
It sounds so beautiful, and it also sounds very like serene and peaceful. So I'm sold.
Yeah, I definitely need to go back. I'm just thinking back to the memories. I know we were like on the fence of maybe going to Namur as well, but we didn't have the time. So I think this is I think this is a sign that I need to book that ticket to Brussels and go down there and do that bike ride, because there is something, like Rosa said, just so serene and magical about taking a bike ride, especially when it's flat. I like that too, because I can't go uphill.
We don't need the hills. Yeah, we'll skip the hills. Although it'll be a nice little pre-workout, so we can get some food afterwards.
Always a
Exactly.
win.
We have so many good restaurants.
Amazing. So speaking of food, immediately when a lot of people think of Belgium, they think of waffles and chocolates. But what are some dishes or food experiences that visitors absolutely cannot miss when they're visiting these regions?
So I think the first dish that comes to mind will be a specialty from Liège. So on the east side of Belgium, like it's a large city, it's called boulet sauce lapin.
Ooh,
So meatballs in rabbit sauce. And
that sounds amazing.
there is actually no rabbit sauce at all. It's actually so
Interesting.
meatballs made out of beef and veal mix, and then it's cooked into a mix of Liège syrup. So also a specialty from the region. Liège syrup is syrup made out of apples and pears, so it's sweet. And then you put also some beer and spices, and it's simmered there for hours.
Ooh, sounds
So
delicious.
yes, it's
All
sweet and
right.
salty, and well, it's delicious. It's actually quite addictive, and you just serve it with salad and fries. So it's actually quite good. Other specialty, but that's more from the side of Belgium. I was born in Hainaut, completely on the other side, on the west side, bordering France. So this time it's lapin à la tournaisienne. So again, lapin, which is rabbit, but this time it's real rabbit. Rabbit stewed again in a sauce with prunes and beer and onions.
Sounds delicious.
But I love how there's like beer and all
And
of
everything,
these. It
yeah.
And
sounds like perfect. I need it. I need it.
Like a good dip for the
almost.
French fries.
Definitely. And one of my personal favorite, I mean, in the salty department, it's something also from my era. It's called a côtelette alberdouille, which is like muddy pork chop, basically. So it's a pork chop, grilled, sometimes fried, depends. And it's served with a mustard-based sauce with pieces of pickles inside. So
Interesting.
yes, and actually it's called muddy because the sauce basically looks like mud.
I'm still intrigued.
But
Intrigued.
It
I'm
is
enjoying.
is good. I mean, I'm not a fan of pickles, but I will eat it because it's that good.
Yeah. Sounds like an interesting combination. I've never heard the mix of like the pickles with the pork chops, but it sounds delicious.
No, 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 it's delicious. You know, it's mixed with the mustard and other things, so it's actually quite good. And for dessert, I would point two things, like the rice pie. So it's a
Oh, yes.
pie. Yeah. It's a pie with a inside with the custard, which is basically made of rice and vanilla custard. Very popular. Every Belgian has had it at his grandma's at least once in his life.
Sounds
I
like
wish.
a staple. It's like reminds me a little bit of rice pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's actually still quite popular. And then, of course, everybody knows about the Belgian waffles. Well, actually, there's two types, like two very popular type. You have the rectangular Brussels waffles, which is like crunchy on the outside, soft in the inside. Usually, it's the one that you see, you know, with tons of toppings, but that's for tourists. We Belgian, we just put like
Guilty.
some,
I am
Guilty,
guilty.
yeah, no,
guilty.
Guilty.
no, no, no. We just put some powdered sugar and maybe like a little bit of chocolate sauce on the side and like some whipped cream on the side, but that's it. Then you have the Liège waffle, which is like basically street food. You get it from like a little shack. So it's a round shaped waffle, much heavier with pieces of caramelized sugar. Personally, it's my favorite. You just eat it on the go like this.
They
But
both sound
Liège,
good.
yeah, Liège has a special one, which is like a thin waffle, a little bit like the don't know if you see what it is, like the stroop waffle from the Netherlands. A
Mm-hmm.
very
Yes,
thin,
yes, yes.
yes, with syrup, except that syrup is made of orange blossom, and it
Interesting.
is delicious. And usually, it's made only during the Liège fair in November, early November, and it's so good.
Sounds
That's it. I was like, I'm
amazing.
loading up my apps. I was like, I'm sold.
That sounds amazing. I'm sad I don't have any of that food here right now. Like I'm reminiscing about all the good stuff I ate over in Belgium. I must have ate like twice my size in mussels and fries and the
Oh yeah,
waffles. Oh my gosh, just like thinking about the food again, I'm like, why is that food not here with me right now? Like I have my glass of water and I'm like, where are my waffles?
well
Give me all the waffles.
that's the thing traveling in Belgium. Usually, when you come back, you have like 5 more kilos.
Yes, exactly. That just means we have to go back. I mean, there's
Mm.
direct flights to Brussels every day from Newark. I mean, I can go there and come back and put a mannequin in front of my classroom. But yeah, the food, I remember just being there for the food and it was amazing. And you mentioned that really cool festival. So, someone planning a trip to Belgium, are there any other local festivals or events that travelers should maybe like plan for in advance or should they just kind of wing it?
Actually, there's two large events that I can think of that they have to be prepared for it. Like the first one, probably the most important, is the Carnival in Banff. So, which is like it's just one of Europe's most famous and oldest carnival. Um, Basically, the legend says that like in the 16th century, Mary of Hungary, who was the governor of the Spanish lowland, because yes, we were part of Spain for like a couple of centuries, had her brother, the emperor, coming to visit her. For some reason, she had her like the Banff area and she had built her palace there. So her brother comes. She organized like a big party and procession. And where the Americas had been discovered not that long before. And the legend said that she had Incas from Peru parading for her brother. And apparently, it impressed the people of Banff so much that they decided to imitate the costume and, use it for carnival. And so now, every carnival, the carnival lasts like almost a week, but the big day,
Wow.
the day the Gilles, so the characters are coming out, it's on Mardi Gras. So they come out very early and have a drink of champagne before starting the day. It's like 5 a.m., something
I
like that.
love that. Love that.
Oh, it's like, well, this sounds like fun.
Yeah, and they come out. They have like different processions, but there is one where they wear their hats, and it's a hat made of ostrich feathers. So they have one where they wear their mask, and then in the evening, when the night has come, they have a large. It's called the rondo. It's a very large dance in circle on Bansh's main square with torches and everything and music. So it's actually quite something. It's very, very popular. And well, you have to be there. It's UNESCO listed as well.
Wow, awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's UNESCO listed. Its second UNESCO listed festival is not far away from Bansh. It's in Mons. It's called the Doudou. So basically, it's the city fair celebrating Mons's Saint patron. First of all, so you have in the morning, you have a procession with a huge, I don't remember the word in English now. It's like those, that kind of cars that carries like a queen.
Like a chariot?
But yeah, but even larger. But so you have the remain of the saint on the chariot, carried along the top of the hill by horses, and it is pushed by probably like over 100 people, because
Wow.
if the horse cannot carry the carriage from the bottom of the hill to the top without stopping, that means that something's gonna happen to the town. Something bad is gonna happen.
Oh my God.
Very superstitious.
Legend said that it didn't go up in one go in 1914 and 1939.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh my
That's the
God.
legend. But then
That's
that's not
ominous.
all. Yeah, that's not all. So you have this, like a couple of days before, you have a procession in costumes as well. And on the afternoon, you have the reenactment of, which is the main event, the reenactment of the fight between St. George and the dragon. And this is insane because you have the fight in the middle of Mons's main square. Around the square, you have thousands of people who are just pressed like lemons inside like this small area, and they all want to grab a hair of the dragon's tail, which is going around like this above the crowd.
God.
And it is crazy.
Sounds fun.
This
Yeah, yes.
sounds amazing.
We squeeze like a lemon, but it still sounds fun.
No, but this has to be seen. Like, of course, the best seat is like try to grab a seat somewhere on the buildings overlooking the Grand Place. But this is, and just party in between. It's also quite nice. The mood is great. Lots of drinking, of course.
Sounds like a fun time.
I feel like it would
Yeah,
make for
it's a
such a
fun time.
fun travel story,
Yeah,
like one
but
of
yeah.
those memories that would last a lifetime.
Yes, and it's also, as said, UNESCO listed. It's important, and it's actually quite soon. It's on Trinity Day, usually May or June, depending on the year.
Okay, cool. I'll have to look up when that is because I would love to do it. Like, part of me is like, would I be okay just like up in a balcony? But then another part of me is like, I wouldn't chase the dragon around.
You just
I'll be
have
the
to.
spectator.
Rosa will watch
I'll
me
just
from
watch.
the balcony, sipping wine, judging me silently as I can't catch the dragon. Like Rachel,
I'll capture the
exactly. It sounds amazing, like so much fun.
It is. Well, I never dared, to be in the crowd, but of course I've been on the day, having fun somewhere else.
That's
as you
so
should.
fun. That's so fun. So, for our listeners, maybe they're planning their first trip to Belgium, particularly the French speaking region. What would be your top tips to feel confident and safe, especially while traveling solo? Because a lot of our listeners are solo travelers. I've traveled solo a lot. Rosa has a little bit as well.
Well, in Belgium, it's still pretty safe to travel. I would say there is nothing out of the ordinary. Basically, of course, cities are a little bit more problematic than the countryside. So you have to be aware of your surroundings, not linger too long in train station, especially, well, during the day, it's perfectly fine. But in the evening and at night, the train station and train station areas are not the safest, so you don't want to linger there. Usually, everything is in walking distance, so it's easy to go to the place that you need to go if you have your accommodation not too far. If you don't, if your gut tell you, I don't want to walk, I want to take a I want to take a taxi or something else, just follow it. That's what I would recommend. Otherwise, I don't think there is like something specific about Belgium, and especially French speaking Belgium, because the cities are not as large as Flanders as well. So,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
felt very relaxed and safe there walking along the river. It was very zen. Definitely a lot safer than Penn Station, that's for sure.
We will get
definitely.
into that. But Melissa, I'm also a little bit curious. I know you work with some major guys like Lonely Planet. How has that experience shaped the way that you approach travel storytelling?
Well, actually, not that much. Maybe because, well, basically, I'm a journalist by trade. It was my major at university. I don't, and I kind of have like separate both worlds. Like when I'm writing for my blog, I write how I want and what I want. When I'm commissioned by Lonely Planet or by Petit Futé, for instance, which is a French guidebook, I know I have directives that I have to follow them. I know about the readership of the guides, so I know what should be interesting to them. And that's what I write about. And basically, those are completely different worlds in my head. So, and usually they don't intertwine so much. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if
like that.
that's to answer your question.
Yeah,
It
it
definitely
does.
does. It does. Because, like you said, it's nice that you're able to kind of separate the two. Because, similarly for myself, whenever I'm traveling on vacation, it's a vacation. Maybe I'm doing content or writing notes down. So when I come back, I can talk about it on social media or my blog. But when I am doing like a press trip or I am commissioned for a story, the way that I kind of approach it might be a little bit different, but I do treat it completely different than when I'm on actual vacation.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's really true. And I know, like, with my blog, like, it's always a thing of, oh, I can use my own voice. I can kind of write what I want. Like, even when I was doing press trips for my blog, as long as I like hit a certain word count, the tourism boards were always very relaxed about it, as opposed to being commissioned for a story. I'm definitely a lot more formal when I write those. But it is true. I've been pretty good about keeping them separate as well. Although I do run into an issue where I try to create too much content on trips, even if they're personal trips. Like I know if
Mm,
I were to go back to Belgium, I'd want to take pictures of literally everything for
mm.
Instagram. So I'm trying to be a little better about that. But everything is so pretty and I just love photos.
Give
Yeah, I
yourself
know
a
that.
time limit.
Yeah, that's also an issue for me. I'm
I
like,
know.
I'm just back from a research mission for one of my guidebooks in Lithuania and Latvia, and of
Ooh,
course I took pictures for me for my social. I have my followers on Instagram know that I was there. So, and I was like, I think I'm posting too many stories.
there's
It's
no such thing
okay.
as too many stories.
No such things, especially for Lithuania and Latvia, another place I went like 10 years ago now. And I miss both countries. I had so much fun.
It's changed quite a bit.
I'm sure since 2016,
Mm,
but I can't even say those years without like cringing a little bit. Where did the time go? It's just
No.
like I
We're not
can't.
gonna do math
No,
tonight. So
no
we're
no.
math.
we're
No,
gonna
we're
skip over that.
travelers. We're travelers.
We'll talk about more fun stuff, Melissa. What would you say has been one of your most memorable solo travel experiences so far?
Probably the craziest thing I've ever done.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Basically, I spent like 9 days on a mixed cargo ship from Tahiti to Hapaiti, which is the southernmost of the French Polynesian island. There is no other way to go there than by ship because the inhabitants always refuse to have an airport. Even some small atolls in the Tuamotus have an airport. Rapaiti doesn't. They've always said no. And the only way to go there so is the ship, and the ship comes once every month, sometimes every 2 months. So, and if you want to stay, you have to request. You have to request it from the local authorities, and of course, you're there for like a long time. So, but I was able to go on the ship because, of course, the ship not only is bringing passenger, but is also bringing like necessary goods that they don't have. It could be anything. Could be gas, it could be a car, it could be like cereals that they don't cultivate themselves because the island is pretty self-sufficient. Anything they need is brought by boat, and the boat is also bringing goods that they export to the other islands because since Rapaiti has like a very different climate from the rest, they harvest things that other Polynesian islands don't have. So it's an exchange. So yeah, that was uh that was it. I was like the one of the few passenger in the dorm inside the ship, and so I got to like meet a lot of great people. Most importantly, the crew of the ship and the cook who took me under his wing. So every time we would
Aw,
go on an
So
island,
sweet.
he would take me out and say, "Oh, I will show you around." And also some other ladies that were on the ship, two sisters who were just traveling. They were also Polynesian, but they also took me around, and that was amazing because I was literally lost somewhere in that corner, almost
aw.
completely unknown in the Pacific, but surrounded by some really good human vibes around there.
It
Oh,
sounds
that's
like it. It sounds like a sweet experience.
amazing.
Low key, I would be a little bit scared, but it sounds like you had amazing company along the way.
Well, actually, the I had a friend of mine who lives in Tahiti, and she brought me to the ship, and she asked, if she could take a look at where I would be sleeping. And so she saw the dorm, and then she looked at me and she told me, "Are you sure?"
Are you sure about this? Are you positive?
Her hints like,
Do you really
But
want to do
no,
this?
no, everything went fine. I mean, the and even though on the way back, we from Rapaiti, we took like, I think, like 30 teens aboard because of course, they have like kindergarten and primary school on the island, but once they go to high school, they have to go on other islands. And so it was time their holiday was over. We had like over 30 teens coming aboard. So that was,
That's
I'm sure that was fun and loud.
that had to be
yeah,
so entertaining. I teach high school for a living, so I'm here laughing like even in the furthest corners of the world, I could not get away from my classroom.
yeah, that was pretty cool because they had so many questions. And
Aw.
but then again, I was even at the far corner of the world. Teens are teens.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. They're so funny. It really is like a great age. They always like make me laugh and make me smile. And I love too with this story how like Rosa said, I'm sure if like I went, I would be a little nervous. Absolutely. But how people were just like so kind and the chef took you under his wing. Like we say it all the time on the show with solo travel that 99% of humanity is good and will look out for you and take care of you. And you can really make these incredible friendships on your solo trips. So there's really like, yeah, trust your gut, but there's no need to be scared.
Definitely, it's well, some and especially I know that for women it's a little bit more difficult. We're more guarded, and of course we have to. But I think most of the time, the experience has been overwhelmingly positive for me.
Yeah, definitely. So, someone's like really inspired by your journey, including me. I'm like in awe right now. And they want to start traveling more, maybe even starting a blog, or maybe just, thinking of taking a week trip around Belgium. What's the first step you recommend they take to make those dreams a reality?
Start small. I would say. I mean, let's say, if we want to talk about traveling solo for the first time, I would say that's what I did. I started first, try to go not too far away. Like, for instance, well, in Belgium, it's really easy to feel like you're abroad since we have like a language divide between French speakers and Flanders. So when you go to Flanders, when you're French speakers, it always feels like you're already abroad.
They are
So
so
you
You're
can,
like in a
different.
different country.
It does feel so
so
different.
yeah, I take the train and within 20 minutes, I'm in Flanders and different. So spend the day somewhere, maybe close, and then, go. Then next step, go on a weekend, then a week, then 10 days, 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you will want to go for several months, like I did.
It is addictive for
It is
sure.
addicting.
It really, really is. And that comes up a lot too, just starting small, traveling in your own backyard. Rosa and I are very fortunate. We're not too far from New York City. So we even suggest,
That
go
feels
on
like
a
a
day
different
trip.
country on its own.
Yeah.
Especially coming from New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's so fun though. My wallet doesn't think it's fun, but I do.
No, yeah, usually that's the case. Usually the wallets are unhappy when we travel.
Yeah. But we always say not a financial podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're here for travel advice, and travel isn't cheap, but it's totally worth it. But I love what you brought up as far as starting small, because it can be intimidating. I know for myself, I started doing a little bit more solo travel when I was like in my early 30s. And I kind of also felt like I was starting a little bit too late. I always had this idea that solo travel is something you do like in your 20s, but we also talk about that in this podcast as there's no right or wrong word to travel. There's no specific age. Sometimes we just have all these like random misconceptions that we kind of build up in our head, but it's never too late to kind of start that journey. And I do agree. I feel like now that I'm doing a little bit more solo travel, I like it a little bit more. Like, no shade to my friends and my family, but
Mm,
it's so liberating.
Love it.
yep,
I love it.
Now I'm just like, oh,
that's
you can't come. Too bad.
yeah. Well, as you build, and as you build confidence, because that is the key in starting small, is like you build confidence little by little, and as you go, you learn how to also maybe deal with things that may happen during travel, because sometimes things happen, good and bad. But and I completely agree that there is no wrong way also to travel. Like, I don't like being dictated and dictate to others how they should travel. And well, I think I'm thinking that you've heard it often, like the only risk of traveling solo is that you might get addicted to it, because there's
Yes.
such a freedom to it. Like, it's nice, you're making your own decision just for yourself, and whatever you want to do, you will do it. And you were talking about the fact that there is no age, and actually, it's quite true, because in Brazil, I've met this lady, French lady. She was in her 70s. Well, we shared like couple of drinks during several nights, and well, she told me that she had been married for a very long time, but she remained with her husband old school until her kids were often married. And when that was it, she said to her husband, "No, I want a divorce. All kids are
Wow.
settled, and I want to do what I've always wanted to do, traveling." And
Good
so,
for her.
and yeah,
Good for her. Good for her.
yeah, and that's what she did in her 60s. She started, and she every year she was taking like 3 4 months, just focusing on a country, and visiting it, as much as she could. And she was sleeping in the dorm at the hostel.
Love this. I love this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
speaking to me. It's been too long since I've done a backpacking trip solo like that. It's like speaking to my heart right now.
Yeah, and she was in her 70s.
I love that for her. And I think that's a good thing too, because sometimes we get so boxed in life, whether you're married or single, like you have like this notion of who you're supposed to be. But it's something so liberating when you can actually kind of choose the path that really makes you happy. So I love hearing that story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I try to apply, for myself.
Yeah, definitely. That woman is an inspiration to us all. I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the night because, like I said, it's been too long since I've done a long, epic solo trip. So, TBD. So, what do you think, Rosa? Rapid fire question time?
Let's do it. Melissa, are you ready?
I am ready.
Yes. All right. Let's do this. So, would you rather take a spontaneous weekend city break with no plan at all or a perfectly planned 2 week dream itinerary?
Well, I'm a planner, so the 2 weeks itinerary.
I'm really big into planning my itinerary too. Like I need to have restaurants picked out at least and museum tickets booked. I'm type B like at home, but once I'm like traveling, I turn so type A, it's insane.
I'm trying to be a little bit more spontaneous. It's been working out all right.
Right.
What would you say is the best Belgian beer you've ever had? That's a
Ah,
tough one.
I'll be taking notes.
dear. Oh dear. I don't know. Well, it depends if you like the classics. I like West Vleteren, which is that's a very classic Belgian beer. It's also one of the most expensive, and you don't find it everywhere because it's made in an abbey, and you're only supposed to get it at the abbey. But there's loopholes, so that's it. It's a it's a triple, so very
Ooh,
heavy on
nice.
alcohol, a little bit sweet as well, but it's good. But if I drink, I like IPAs better. And there is a very good one, very good microbrewery in Brussels called La Source. And if you like your IPAs like very heavy on the hops, then that's where you have to go.
Sounds fun. I'm not a big beer drinker, but it's funny because one of my go-to beers is actually a Belgian beer called Whole Garden, and I kind of love it. And it's a little bit more on the softer side, not as strong though, so
Mm.
I can handle it.
No, not strong. Garden.
It's lightweight. It's lightweight. It's like juice.
No. It's what we call white beer. So it's a little bit different. It's made not of the same cereal as the others, and with a little bit of spices and orange peel.
The orange.
So
That's what I like
very
about it.
That sounds so good. Oh my gosh.
very refreshing.
I feel like I need a glass of beer before bed now. So, what is one destination in French speaking Belgium that you would send a first timer to?
I would say, well, I'm hesitating between Namur and Mons.
Mm-hmm. Go to Namur now.
Mons is so cute though. It's on top of a hill, with the belfry on the very top.
Pretty.
And it's actually quite charming.
I would like that. Just like stay there at a hotel, bring my journal, sit outside with my beer. It sounds so nice.
It's like sold.
Need that in my life right now.
As you can tell, we're always ready to book that trip.
Yeah.
Now, Melissa, would you rather always travel solo and choose every detail yourself, or always travel with the group but have to give up control of your itinerary?
Definitely travel solo.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
We're with you.
We're with you on that one. We're solo travel girlies for sure.
Especially when I'm traveling with other people, I'm the one planning anyway.
Facts
It's
right
like
there.
it never ends. The planning never ends. My
Funny.
God.
It's
That's too
hilarious.
funny. But thank you so much, Melissa, for being on the show. Before we wrap up, where can our listeners find you?
So they can find me on my blog. It's mellovestravels.com. It's in French, but you have, translation options.
I can
And
practice.
and you also can find me on Instagram mainly, and also on Pinterest
I love
actually.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Pinterest
I'm gonna
is
go
so
follow
fun.
you on Pinterest. I need to follow more travel content over there.
Mm,
Get some
Same.
inspiration.
it's always
Same here.
good. So always still the same Mel Loves Travels also as a
Okay.
username.
Right,
Love it.
fantastic. And we'll be sure, listeners, to put all of those in the show notes for you. So thanks so much for tuning in, besties. We absolutely loved having Melissa on the show today. I know I'm ready to book that flight from Newark to Brussels, like right now, because why not? I could always have more plane tickets in the app. So Melissa's passion for city breaks and uncovering hidden gems definitely shines in everything that that she does. And we love how she empowers women to explore the world with confidence through her stories, insights, and expert tips. From Belgium to the Baltic countries to the Faroe Islands, Melissa's proving that these destinations are anything but boring and inspiring women everywhere to travel solo and on their own terms. So definitely check out her blog, her Instagram, her Pinterest. I know I will, because like Rosa, I need more travel content creators on Pinterest. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave us a review, hit subscribe, and share the podcast with a fellow travel bestie. Maybe plan a trip to Belgium together. We would absolutely love that. And then I can live vicariously through you because I want to go back. So thanks as always for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one, besties. Bon voyage!
Bon voyage,
Bon voyage.
besties!
Bon voyage.
Bye!
Bienvenue en
See you in
Belgique.
Belgium!
Bienvenue en Belgique.